Awaken Israel! Good morning. It's almost noontime here, the 8th of January, 2 days after Insurrection Day. I just uploaded. It's got to be processed through YouTube, and YouTube's taking a long time to process my videos. I'm doing my best not to offend and not to violate their stuff, but they are always changing their rules, and I'm not reading them every day, so we don't know what we're allowed to say and not say. I would like to see, I'd like you to join me in censoring the censors. You can do that on Facebook. You could do it on YouTube as well. How do you do that? Well, you censor them back simply by reporting them. If you think a video on climate change is a scam or an advertisement on climate change or anything else, medical technologies, if you think they're scams and deceptive, then report them. I like to go after APEC in particular. That's the, whatever it is, Alliance for Israel stuff going on. Israel is basically the enemy of the United States of America. They've invaded us and taken us over from within. They have a stranglehold on us. And they're not Jews. They're mostly fake Jews in there. You have to read the Bible to discern where they came from and who they are. Of course, most of you listening to this already know that because I've told you, or you knew before. I think the important messages for me today are, I have to confess that I'm really not up on the New Testament. So if you ask me, Dr. Kent, how do I get saved? I'm going to tell you, I'm still working that out for myself. Okay? I don't like going with magic potions, if you will, spells, if you will. I don't like sidestepping responsibility. I don't like breaking the law, breaching the law. I do not like a license to break the law in any way. If it's okay for you to do, you shouldn't have to have a license for it. A license, licensure, licentiousness is basically a permission slip from the king to let you break the law. Do something that you shouldn't be doing. So I was able to tune in to the last part of a Bible study myself this morning. I'm really grateful for it because it was bringing up things that I didn't quite understand and didn't know. But as you know, I'm kind of an Old Testament guy, so I'm going to see if I can find this stuff in here for you, and I don't think I can, but it's going to take me a little while. And I want to bring this up because this is pretty good. But then again, maybe I should be going into the New Testament and telling you how to get saved. I'm going to tell you it's the same thing as I tell people that are black Hebrew Israelites, okay? I tell everybody the same thing. You know, I don't care if you're even a Chicom, I tell you the same thing. It is incumbent upon you to read the scriptures. It's your duty to sit on your butt and read the Bible. And when you find yourself in it, and you find your salvation so you can work it out, then tell the rest of us about it. We want to know. I want to know. I've been beholding to an idea of a two-stage concept for quite a while, and I don't think it's holding great water. So I'm not going to share that with you. I mean, I don't want to pass my errors on. But at this point, there's some wild stuff that happened in here. I want to go all the way to Genesis, because if we don't understand the beginnings, we won't understand anything. And I put some notes in my Bible. I will show you what I wrote. I asked some questions. I got some explanations. And so I believe that there's enough to accommodate the ideas I've been running around with that I've been worried about. However, this fills things up in a large way. Still don't get it all right. I've got to go to Bible studies myself. I do not like going to big box churches because they make religion. You know, religions are man-made. Not a good thing. All right, going back a little further. Oh, yeah, this has got to be that doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah, it's got to be back before. No, can't be back before that. What I'm looking for is Nimrod. And the reason I'm looking for Nimrod is I want to explain to you a little bit about what we think we know. There we go. Here it is. Wow. Here's my notes. Highlighted, underlined. Margin notes. Okay, full disclosure here. All right, we're looking at Genesis, I guess it's Genesis 10. Looking at that backwards there. So here's the main thing. Nimrod, this is what I've been telling people, that we have a mistranslation, yet here in the proper name version, the same thing goes on. And it's not quite a mistranslation. There are several meanings to this word. This could be opposition, or it could be in front of, meaning face to face. It could, and by the way, I didn't know this, but the name Nimrod means rebellion. He was a mighty hunter before Yahweh. I got mine underlined and circled, and I put in there, against Yahweh. Therefore it is said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before Yahweh, or in front of Yahweh, or face to face, or in Yahweh's face. So rebellion was his characteristic, and that's what you really need to know. Nimrod is the equivalent of calling a guy rebellion. This is very interesting. In Genesis chapter 10, verse 6, you've got the sons of Ham, the last one being Canaan, okay, the youngest, and he was cursed. Remember that. After the flood, cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants shall he be unto his brethren. So Ham did something, and as a result, his youngest son got the curse. Noah wasn't happy with whatever he did to him while he was asleep. There's some things that are rather horrible that it's thought, but basically Canaan saw the nakedness of his father and told his two brothers. So that could be just plain nakedness, and he was disrespectful enough just to tell his brothers and walk off. Okay. It could have been that it was referring to his own mother, that Noah's wife. It could have been that he had sex with Noah's wife. Or it could have been that he did a sexual act upon Noah himself. We just don't know what that was, but we do know that this occurred long enough after the flood that they had wine. So the grapes had grown, the trees had grown, they had wine, he was drunk, and uncovered in his tent. So who the heck knows what that refers to? I like to brainstorm and leave it up in the air. Be flexible so that we can actually come to the true meaning of it and the depth of that meaning. It could mean several things at the same time. Now, the problem is that we think that what happened is he stole the garments that his father was wearing. And the word is that he was to be a husbandman, and he planted a vineyard. And he was doing kind of a ceremony on the harvest and getting drunk. And he was dressed in a ceremonial garb. It is believed, and I don't know if this is accurate or not, that he was dressed in the skins that Yahweh made for Adam. And the word is that when he wore this, that he became invisible. Maybe it was camouflage. Maybe it really was a cloak of invisibility. Maybe he just believed it. Maybe other people believed it. But it allowed him to be a hunter. It allowed him to stalk, to sneak up on his prey. And prey could have been men, not just animals. So we don't know. We just have to be open-minded to that. That Babylonian garment shows up later with Achan. Achan kept a large wedge of gold and put it buried underneath his tent, and he also had a Babylonian garment. So it is guessed, hypothesized that that garment might have been the skins that Adam had, that Noah had, and that maybe Canaan stole those off his father. That's what we're thinking. And Nimrod got them. Why do we think Nimrod? Well, the interesting that was pointed out to me is in Genesis chapter 10, verse 7. It lists the sons of Cush, and it doesn't list Nimrod in that entire verse. It lists, and the sons of Cush, Seba and Havilah and Sabta and Rama and Sebticha, and the sons of Rama, Sheba and Dedan. Then verse 8, and Cush begot Nimrod. That's not mentioned up above. Maybe he got him later. Just as I'm reading this to you, I'm thinking that way. He began to be a mighty one in the earth. He was a mighty hunter. What did he hunt? Did he hunt? Did he hunt his relatives, his partial relatives? We just don't know. But we come to where we have the death of Cain, and Cain was protected by a sevenfold curse, marked with that. If anybody did anything to him, sevenfold that was going to happen to whoever killed Cain. And we come up to, oh boy, let me see if I can come up with it. And this might be backwards from here, I just don't know. But basically, we have a man who killed Cain, and it's mentioned not very directly. And if we look carefully into the other books, we find out that man Lamech killed Cain, and Lamech was the 7th generation down from Cain. And he killed Cain in a hunting accident. He thought he was a deer, shot him with an arrow, killed him. When he went up, and his son, 17-year-old son, was hunting with him, when they went up and he saw what he had done, knowing that full curse, that he threw his arms up without even looking, and in one blow, hit his son in the head and killed him. So he killed 2 members of his family that day. And I don't know where that is in here, to be honest with you. Well, it's got to be further than that. So, his 2 wives, Lamech's 2 wives, encroach upon him, and they're going to put him to death. He killed the family patriarch. And Lamech says he killed a man he killed a man, and he killed another young man to his wounding, his own son. That wounded him. And he said that he stopped them from encroaching upon him and going after him by saying, as Cain was protected by a sevenfold curse, whoever hurt him, may he be protected by 70 times 7. That much more, or 77. I don't have it in front of me. I wish I did, so I could at least refer to that. And heck if I know where that is in the Bible, and I'm not going to look it up for you right now. The note, I'm not done with Nimrod. I apologize. Let me go right back to that. This is important. And we're going to take some extra biblical stuff as well as what's here in the Bible. And the extra biblical stuff is from a famous author, Eustace Mullins. And Eustace Mullins, in his book, The Curse of Canaan, which I think was going for $400 a copy. I was hoping my brother would have saved my mother's copy because it was clean and pristine. And I had underlined my copy and marked it up. And he just thought it was another book, so he tossed it. I was really hoping to get that for myself. I'd like to have a clean copy and the study copy on the shelf of important books. Nimrod. Nimrod's wife isn't in the Bible. However, she is Semiramis, I believe is the name. I put Samaris here, but Semiramis. Apparently, Nimrod and Semiramis had a child together named Tammuz, was their child, and Semiramis claimed that Tammuz was the son of God. She turned Nimrod into God somehow and started a real strange religion. And it had to go underground. And today, all of our underground societies, according to Eustace Mullins, came from this very part of history. And the basic story is that Cain's uncle, Shem, the oldest boy in the family, the oldest of Noah's son, told Canaan that he needed to stop doing what he was doing or he was going to kill him. And what was Canaan doing? He was going into the groves openly, and they were doing stuff with the children and doing weird sexual practices as well, and just doing pretty bizarre stuff. Canaan wouldn't stop doing it, and Shem, being a man of his word, he went and he hunted down his nephew Canaan and killed him. And then he cut his body into parts because Canaan was the leader of a wicked church, of a cult at that point in time. And so what he did is he cut Canaan up into several pieces, and he sent a relic, a part of the body, with a messenger to each one of these groups, telling him that if you keep doing to these kids, this child sacrifice stuff, this other stuff, I guess it was pedophilia as well, if you keep doing that, then I'm going to do to you what I did to Canaan. And those people took those relics, they turned them into relics, and they went underground. So that's what we're dealing with. It comes back to this time, this period. According to Eustace Mullins, Mullins was no Bible scholar. According to one pastor that I know and respect, somewhat. You find out people's foibles later. And then I guess there was one piece that was missing when they tried to reassemble his body. I think the penis was gone, and there's a big deal about that. And it turns out that the cross, which the T stands for, is the symbol for Tammuz. Now, I know that anyone hung from a tree is cursed. I know that the symbol for Christianity is a cross. I have a friend who told me a long time ago that shouldn't be the symbol. The symbol should be the stone that was rolled away from the tomb. That would be a more appropriate symbol. But I have another brother, older brother, who's read the Bible more than I have, who says there should never have been such a thing as a religion called Christianity. Now, that doesn't mean that the functional aspects of it aren't true or aren't applicable, but it does confuse things because most people aren't ready to hear that. You got to understand the book of Genesis, and I can't spend enough time in this, and there's a lot more throughout the whole Bible on this. Now, on my other channel, the Dr. Kent Show, I've got twice as many viewers there, twice as many subscribers, and people have contacted me in the past, and they want my help with things. And I've given my time freely, and those people really generally prove to be kind of unworthy of it. So I've decided to come up with a fee for my services. And my fee is going to be real simple. If you want me to read into your life, if you want me to spend that time, I do need to be able to hear your voice. That's a requirement. But I'm also going to require that you actually buy one of my Bibles. I don't make much money off it at all. But you buy one and you read it all the way through. And if you want to contact me, at least we'll be able to speak the same language. And I want you to put your name on the list for the Apocryphal book that we're going to produce here in short order, I hope. So those are my requirements, and then fine, you can have my services. I'm not going to be charging you out of your pocket directly for it. But you're a Bible reader? You bought one of my Bibles? Oh yeah. You've got your name on the list so we can get the Apocrypha out there, which I really want. Just call it my bribe. That's the cost if you want that. So I think that's a pretty reasonable thing. I hope you got something out of this. I hope you realize that you cannot rely upon me to tell you what's in here, that you have to read it for yourself. And the Spirit will speak to you differently than it speaks to me, and you're going to see things that I miss. And leave comments down below. If you want to correct me, please contact me through email privately, or if you know me, give me a call. But the main thing is that I want to know too, and I'm learning as well. We are in a real rough time. I look at this collection of books at this library. I can see the end of the Earth Age perhaps is upon us from the other records. But my real take on it is that most of the prophecies in here haven't been fulfilled yet, so we're a long ways away from his return. A lot of you are running around talking about white hats and talking about military tribunals that they have to keep secret, and they kill people and put body doubles in their places. No, there's no white hats. This entire military has been weaponized and turned against the people. They've been active for a long time. Right now, they're doing psychological operations like they have for decades. And on top of that, they're doing biological, chemical, and nuclear. They've been in electrical stuff as well. So they've weaponized everything. Their warfare against us is, of course, silent weapons for silent wars, if you will. And they manipulate our weather. They manipulate us. It's not our military. The evil ones have taken over America. You have to fight this spiritually, though. I'm not telling you to go out there and pick up arms, except to defend yourself. You have to do that. That's what it's coming to. You will use your sidearm to defend yourself in the near future. The same thing happened to the people in South Africa when we backed up, taking down apartheid and unleashing all that bullshit on those poor people down there. The amazing thing is that a lot of the stuff that we were told about South Africa was a bunch of lies, and they're suffering pretty badly down there. And one more thing, the concentration camps weren't in Germany. They were in South Africa, run by the British against the Boer. That's where they started, before the turn of the last century, about 1897, 1895, 1899. They killed a lot of men, about women and children in there in particular. You need some more resources, go to my blog, givingpsychologyaway.com. You'll see a few books there. I do have a couple of PDFs you can download about the seer from South Africa's visions and prophecies for America. You will see this coming war in there. You will see a lot in there. So he died in 1926. All of his visions were much earlier. I haven't finished reading it. I've been looking for some visions that I heard about, some prophecies that I heard about. I have not found them in the collection that I've managed to get on the internet and upload to my blog. You want to know who Esau Edom is today? There's a full book there by Charles Weissman. Go and read that book. He did a lot of research. This is just one of many books that he wrote. His family did not like him, and they abandoned the copyrights. So you can download that freely and share it. The family didn't want the copyrights. They took all of his cartons of books, brand new books, to the dump. And then you can also get Bertrand Comparet's Your Heritage, which is a short book. I also have the maps uploaded there as well. I think it's the only place where you can get the maps. You can download these freely. And what I think you're going to find out is it's going to take you a few times of reading, the attorney's work, because he writes at an extremely high level. It's not even a college level. It's more like a graduate student level. So you will have to read it a few times. However, the maps tell the story. You just have to glance at it and know the story right there. Those are some free resources you can have. Do me a favor, like the video, subscribe, comment, share this on social media. Correct me if I'm wrong on anything. If you want me to go in a direction, ask questions, I'd prefer they were in the comments. I like to do things pretty much above board. I am an old man. This is what I love talking about, is the truth that's actually in the Bible, because the commandment I got on my third read through of the Bible was love truth and justice. And in order to have justice, you must know the truth. And I think we've got a long ways to know that. And as far as justice goes, there's no type of justice like economic justice, social justice, racial justice, religious justice. There's no whatever it is kind of justice. Justice is justice. It is a pure concept. It cannot be modified. Once you modify it, then you got a political agenda going on. And that's not good. And you will find political agendas in the study notes of all kinds of study Bibles. You know, the NIV study Bible I have has got a political agenda in the footnotes. The Schofield Reference Study Bible has got more notes, more footnotes, more references than it has Bible itself, and they lie outright. They say Moses was a Jew. There were no Jews back at that time. You want to understand what a Jew is? Go read Bertrand Carperet's booklet. He'll tell you. He'll define that for you as best he can. Okay, this is my 22nd edition, and it is January 8th. May Yahweh bless.